Welcome, everybody. We are going to do a Mercury retrograde reading for Aries. So, Aries, let's see. The retrograde starts on the 4th or the 5th, depending on whatever. So, if you're wondering when it starts, Aries, you have this growth card. It says expect good money flow, a raise or a new job offer soon. So, again, there definitely looks to be like some sort of change during this retrograde season for you. I'll show you your other cards here in a second. But the important thing about this card is it actually says it's important to unlearn to grow as rules continue to morph and change. And you have the Tower as your middle card here. It's kind of like you could be making a change during this Mercury retrograde. So basically, you might as well say the entire month of August, by the way, for everyone. It might as well be the entire month of August. But you have this Five of Wands, and you have the Tower and the Eight of Swords. So the Five of Wands is like conflict or competition. But I feel like for you, Aries, that there could be that you could be conflicted on the change that you're going to be making, but it's clearly going to lead to a lot of growth. I actually feel that this energy, like a lot of people are going to be feeling this energy of being conflicted with the changes that they're making. But it's like weird because I feel like these changes, it's like they feel good but bad at the same time. So and I think that for you, Aries, the reason it feels that way to me with this Five of Wands is because maybe you think that you're going to set out and accomplish something during this Mercury retrograde, but you actually end up going and doing something else. But it's like your brain is still attached to the original idea. So I think as long as you can stay flexible, as this card says, that growth card says something about being flexible on it. So I think being flexible and kind of going with the flow would be a good idea for you. You also have the Tower, which of course can represent a tower moment or experiencing some sort of tower moment. Again, I think this is where the flexibility is going to come in for you. I find that Mercury retrogrades are times of truth. And the tower is falling so that these people that are falling out of the tower can see reality for how it actually is. And so the whole point of the tower is that these people inside the tower are being brought back down to reality. And so there could be like some sort of truth that you are conflicted on, especially it feels like a goal or something, just anything where you want growth in your life. That's where I feel the conflict is coming from. But again, your last card is the Three of Swords. I'm actually going to clarify this for you as well. The Eight of Swords is only seeing one way of doing things when there are many ways to do things. So the whole point of the Eight of Swords is that we have to stay flexible and just look for other ways to do things. Clarifying that Tower, I actually moved the Tower, so we'll stick with it. Clarifying the Tower, you have the King of Wands, which is your card. So again, I think that you are seeing some sort of new reality in regards to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish right now, or whatever it is that you're trying to do in your life, whatever you're trying to get off the ground, whatever you're trying to get to grow. And the King of Wands really says that you have all the control necessary to be very successful, so that's nice. You also have the King of Swords. I would be careful of other people for sure. King of Swords is a card of discernment, but it can be like a cold, calculated energy. And with the Five of Wands, it's clarifying the Five of Wands. Then, it could definitely be a person who's trying to create conflict. It might not even be a person who's trying to cause conflict. It could just be Mercury retrograde. People have a bad hair day, and they cause a problem in your life. It's kind of like that. The dominoes fall. Maybe someone has a bad day, and then they get mad at someone else who gets mad at you, and then you go home and you get mad at your spouse. It's like that type of thing is popping into my head, and I feel like we can stop those cycles before they even happen. So just, if someone flips you off on the road, if someone gets mad at you or something during this Mercury retrograde, I would totally ignore it, end that cycle. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Ace of Cups. Yes, I think plain and simple, Aries, you are moving towards something that you are definitely going to love, even though it's different than what you think. So again, I think that for the most part, this reading is just saying that you are trying to get something to grow in your life, and how you're going to get there is different than you think. The other thing I would say is that the Ace of Cups is really kind of about following your heart or following your inner voice. The Ace of Cups is moving towards things if it wants to focus. The Ace of Cups really represents moving towards things that cause your heart to overflow. And that's exactly what I would do with the Ace of Cups, is I would do more of those things that bring more love, joy, happiness into your life. And, I think that if you do that, then you'll have a perfectly fine retrograde. It looks like something is growing, but I feel like you have to let it grow during the retrograde, of course, by being flexible, like I said, staying open to different ways of doing things. We'll do a collective as well. So for the collective, we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. For the collective, we have this workaholic card. It says having a strong work ethic and giving it 110% all of the time. It says hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I actually feel like everybody in the collective is going to be feeling very motivated. So again, it could be one of those retrogrades where people really feel more motivated, more energetic, not the other way around. I would say that I do think it's a good time to practice taking a rest or getting rest or taking a break. We have Mars going retrograde at the end of the year, pretty much in the same area of the sky in Leo. This Mercury retrograde's in Leo, and also Mars going retrograde in Leo at the end of the year. And so I kind of feel it's like a little bit of practice for when we get there. Leo is kind of like our life force, our vitality. And so when Mars goes retrograde there, you're going to want to have energy saved up. So if you feel like working, work. If you feel like resting and sleeping, rest and sleep. Like practice collecting your energy so that when we get to the end of the year, you have more than enough energy to get through the end of the year. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness. I think that it's a good idea for everyone to practice resourcefulness at this time. We are literally in a time of resourcefulness. Why do you think all this weird stuff is happening with money and all that other stuff? So Queen of Pentacles doesn't say don't spend money. She just says, be resourceful. If you can do something for cheaper, or, if you can get things on sale, or if you can find a better way to make money, or any of that, that's what I would be looking for, and that's what I would be studying with the Queen of Pentacles. Collective has the Seven of Cups as well. Big dreams at this time. We have Neptune and Pisces. We also have Saturn and Pisces. So Neptune and Pisces is your crazy ass idea. Saturn and Pisces says get your ass moving. And if you actually start working on that crazy idea, then you might just create whatever it is. So I think we are in a time of big dreams. Neptune's going retrograde as well. It is, and Saturn. And so, again, I think that now is the perfect time with Neptune going retrograde to kind of like take that crazy idea and ground it in reality. When you think about it, when it's moving forward, being on Neptune would be like being under 100 hurricanes going 10,000 miles an hour with, high seas, waves, 200 feet tall, the craziest thing you could possibly imagine, right? So now that Neptune is going retrograde, it's kind of like calming down. And now is the time where we could manifest our wildest dreams if we put the work in. So I would make sure to put the work in with that Seven of Cups. You have the Eight of Wands collective. And let me just do this real quick. The Eight of Wands is quick success or a quick conclusion. The Eight of Wands is also good news, but also remember what I said earlier about the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is like the slip and slide of life. We have to, and I think this is what everybody should be doing until like 2033. So, almost the next 10 years. I think we all need to be paying very close attention to what causes friction, and we need to pay very close attention to what removes friction from our life and speeds things up. As long as we double down on those things that speed things up or make things more efficient, we will be like 30 times more successful than we normally would be. So make sure you're paying attention. With the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Hierophant. Yeah, love is changing. So I think that for those of you that want love or marriage, love is changing. I also feel that this could be the opportunity for blessings. He is blessing these two people in front of him here. So I really do feel that there could be like a really solid opportunity to receive some blessings in your life. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Two of Cups. I think people need to like stop dreaming about relationships at this time as well. So Neptune going retrograde is great because it's like part of my problem with Neptune, especially in Pisces, is it's like the fantasy. It's just mental masturbation, basically. It's like the fantasy feels better than the reality, or actually you don't know. Because what happens with Neptune and Pisces with relationships is like we get into a relationship, but maybe we just are like talking to the person, right? Or maybe we are just texting the person. And we develop this fantasy around the connection. So the fantasy, we kind of don't want to lose the fantasy, so then we never make it a reality. And, right now, with Neptune going retrograde, it's time to, make that fantasy a reality. This could be love, but the Two of Cups could also just be something that you will love in your life. It could, Two of Cups can be you and your higher self, and your higher self is trying to communicate with you, which showed up like 20 times today in all the readings, right? So clearly it's a very spiritual time, and Mercury retrograde can be very spiritual. So I think we have to, if our higher self is telling us to do something, we need to like manifest whatever that is down on earth. With the Eight of Wands, you also have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles says get to work. Eight of Pentacles is, what's more important than that, though, what I really want to say here, collective, is that Eight of Pentacles is about looking at your work. It's about seeing how much work you have already done. It's about looking at what you have already accomplished and putting that into perspective. Sometimes I think we need to back up and look at everything that we've accomplished, because then it makes the next thing we're about to do 20 times easier. Because if you're too focused on work, you're not seeing that what you're about to do could be easier, and I feel like this is saying, it's like you already have all this knowledge and wisdom, which came up a lot during these readings, and now by putting things into work or putting things into practice, you'll be able to accomplish something, the next thing, much easier or faster or whatever. So there you go. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate it, and definitely enjoy the rest of your week.